I view cryptocurrency as a good thing for the world. I think it helps fix the incentive structure. In our current system, if I want to get really rich without doing any work, how do I do this? Well, I place myself right next to the money printer, and then I take that money, which is essentially theft from me and you, and then I give it to my friends. So like this results in the political system we have now. It's like, let's say I'm a politician, I place my next to the Federal Reserve, I get money, I get to my government contracting friends, they bring in two other corrupt versions of me. Now there's three corrupt people. The three corrupt people will beat the non-corrupt people because they have access to the lobby. They have access to unlimited money. How do I get really rich in a Bitcoin-based system? I can't print more money. The only way I can get rich is create tremendous amounts of value for a lot of people at scale. If you're trying to create as much value for yourself as you can, and you can't take it away, and the only way to create value for yourself is create value for others, the only way you can do that is if you're your authentic self. If I'm doing something authentic, it's going to be better for me than if I'm doing something not authentic.
Hey guys, it is Allison. I am the host of your show, Allison Answers Mission Awake. I cannot wait to sit down with you today and go over how we are going to crush the mediocrity in your life that has been plaguing our society since the beginning of time. I cannot wait to have a real deal conversation that includes intelligence, fun, excitement, and real actionable steps to make a real difference in the life that you're living now and making it into something you can be damn proud of and excited to live. Sit down, put on your damn seatbelt, and get ready for the ride of your life. Hey guys, how are you today? I have a guest today that when I introduce him and do his bio, it's going to be a little weird because I don't understand a lot of the things that he does. And that's one of the reasons why I'm having him on the show. So I'm hoping that his cutting edge way of thinking and the kind of business he does will be enlightening to all of us and help us as business owners and just help us to really open up our mind and our heart to what's really happening on this earth digitally. And I'm going to read his bio, but I may butcher it because most of it I don't understand, which is wonderful because we're all about growing and learning. So here we go. This is Eric McHugh, and he is the president of ShopX Web3 e-commerce. He's a co-founder and chief growth officer of Dataing and AI powering matchmaking. That might mean dating. I'm not sure what that is, but we're going to dive in. In the past, he founded a VC-funded SaaS platform, worked at Snap in DC and Barcelona, and as a consultant for the Fortune 500 companies going through the bankruptcy process. Eric has an IQ of over 140, and he enjoys playing chess and fine cuisine, and his main hobbies include fighting, chess, reading, and meditation. It says here that he just got back from a 10-day Noble Silence Vipassana meditation retreat, and he's recommending that to everyone. He's a 30-year-old entrepreneur whose philosophy emphasized the importance of simplicity, adaptability, and a clear mind, which has translated well into the world of Web3 entrepreneurship, which we're going to find out about. I'm interested in that. He specializes in leveraging his strategic thinking and adaptability to create innovative and effective solutions to the challenges facing this cutting industry. Eric's fierce independence and commitment to self-mastery made him a natural leader and role model for those seeking to live a life of purpose and freedom in the digital age. This is a fascinating topic we're going to be looking at today. He calls himself a staunch individualist. Eric is vocal advocate for the decentralization of power and control in regard to the digital world. So I'm really interested in finding out more about Eric and what he does. A lot of it is way beyond me, but that's what we're here for, right? Growing, learning, and expanding. So without any further ado, here he is. Hey guys, how are you today? It is Allison from Allison Answers and Logger Counseling Services. As I mentioned before, I have my new friend here, Eric, who is going to share with us all this, like a wealth of knowledge of like so many different things that we all need to become, I guess, educated on, this cutting edge digital world that is advancing so quickly. So we want to know so much about his knowledge of that. And also, as I found out by speaking with Eric pre-recording, I found out that he's a real spiritual dude. So we always talk about that too, meditation. And he was on a 7-day silent retreat we saw. So we're going to have to find out about that. And I'm just looking so forward to hearing from you, Eric, and to just pre-frame for everyone that, put on your seatbelts, get out your pen and paper, and be willing and open to learn about what this dude has to teach us. And I think that's the most important thing. So Eric, I just want to thank you and welcome you to Allison Answers, the show that crushes mediocrity. So tell us about, I have a list of questions, so I'm not going to dive right in. We have to know a little bit about you first. So tell us just a little bit about how you ended up being, I know you're a genius, 140 IQ. I actually have the same thing. So, I never told anyone, but I'm up there too, my friend. So's my kids, which is cool. But what I'm curious about is how you became, an expert in AI and all these other things that I don't really understand, Web3. What brought you here?
Yeah, sure. So it was the kind of thing as like when the student is ready, the teacher approaches. So I've been just following my genuine intellectual curiosity, and both these companies just happen to work out in my favor. So I believe that everyone has an inner purpose and everyone has an outer purpose. I believe everyone's inner purpose is the same, and that's to raise your own level of consciousness. And I believe God, the creator, or whomever, bestowed each of us with individual gifts. And I think we're also happiest when we're serving other people. So if you take those into account, how do I best serve other people? Well, I take advantage of my individual gifts because they're my gifts. I'm the best Eric in the world. You're the best Allison in the world. Each of your listeners are the best of them in the world. So to best serve other people, I have to do what I feel like. I have to do what I'm passionate about. And those manifest in different forms. And these happen to manifest in 2 different companies for me. The first is ShopX, and we help brands monetize in Web3. So the why behind that is overall, I would like to live a nice, peaceful life. I felt that was harder to do with the money system being corrupt. And that led me to first physical gold and physical silver as the answer, which eventually led me to Bitcoin as the next evolution of that. So ShopX is a way for me to onboard people into the ecosystem at scale. So what we do is we offer e-commerce brands incentives to enter the space. So like our 2 products live right now are ReserveX and SquadX. ReserveX is a NFT powered loyalty program. So if you're a brand, you're on Shopify or WooCommerce, you can download our app, and then directly within your Shopify app, you can launch an NFT collection with no coding expertise. You don't have to know what an NFT is. You just fill out 2 simple forms, you launch your collection, and then from there, you can add e-commerce benefits to your NFT. So for example, if Nike were to launch a gold, silver, bronze style pass collection, the gold pass holders could get the product for free, silver pass holders could get product for 50% off, and bronze pass holders could get the product before everyone else. So it's that e-commerce incentive. So if the user wants to enter, he wants the e-commerce benefit, he purchases the pass, he's in Web3. So it creates a 0 to 1 moment for a lot of people at scale.
Okay.
Yeah.
Holy, I can't breathe. Okay, you're going to have to help me with this. All right.
Yes.
I need help.
Okay.
Understand my ignorance. So when you're describing this, first of all, I hear about it. I'm a smart woman. I'm having a hard time getting it. Okay. So with Nike, let me back up. The first several things that you said were so powerful. The entire podcast could be on those first 3 things about an inner purpose, an outer purpose. The way that you described it was phenomenal. So I want to put that on the shelf, and I want to take it off the shelf in a little while because we must discuss that. But I'm really fascinated to learn from you. And I think the reason I'm also fascinated to learn from you is because of your humble and spiritual attitude. So I just want to, give you some props for that, because that's a big deal, because I have felt a little bit intimidated by this world of NFTs, and, I have some Bitcoin and stuff, but I don't really understand it. I understand it's the future. I'm not clear on it. So if you could help me understand, when you say Nike, right? Now they can do whatever you said that they can do. Are you when you're describing a product, are you describing a physical product that someone can get in those different tiers of like gold or silver, or is it NFTs which are not physical products?
So it can be either. So what Nike would do in our example is the customer would purchase the NFT to unlock either a physical product or physical experience. So I can give you a live example we're working with right now. So we're working with Fox's new show called Populous. If you're a Rick and Morty fan, it's the same creator. So they have a new show. They launched an NFT collection called the Crap Chickens prior to the release of their show. So going into their first episode, they had a loyal community. They made some revenue and their episode hit record numbers. But as a Crap Chicken holder, because I'm part of the brand, I get exclusive benefits. So in this particular case, I get exclusive access to content. I get exclusive merchandise. My Crap Chicken may show up in the show. I get to vote on what would happen next. So at its core is, I know NFT is a complicated word. It honestly just think of it as like a piece of land in digital cyberspace where you own that piece of land. You can build whatever you want on the land. So the NFT, it creates a connection between the creator and consumer. Whatever the creator creates, it's up to them. So it can be a TV show, it can be an artist, it can be an e-commerce brand. But all that matters is the connection between the creator and consumer. And then value can flow freely in between the creator and consumer.
It's not as much of a jump, maybe, if we understand that our experience here on this earth, in this 3D world, that all that matter is just a bunch of slowed down energy that's not as real as a wave, right?
Yes.
So understanding that as science, can I jump onto the NFT? Now it's a digital world, so it's not something that I can't touch it, can't smell it, but it's in the air. Could it be something? Is it in any way similar to that? Do you follow what I mean by that?
Yeah, so if what you're saying is, and I agree in the sense, like us being matter, this desk, me, we're just particles vibrating at a slower frequency. And if we ascend that, we can reach new different heights. Like we reach 40, we can reach 50, all the way up to 90 or whatever it is. So in terms of digital world, NFTs help with the transition into digital world. Oh, and I have to bring up this connection to you. I look at blockchain as the digital version of the Akashic records. So you know how the Akashic...
Gotta write down.
Yeah, that one's like...
Where's a pen? I need a pen. But yeah. I'm sorry.
So I don't usually use this...
Okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
I don't usually use this example because for me, for example, my job is I'm privileged to be able to onboard Web2 brands into the Web3 space. So a lot of conversations I have are with Web2 e-commerce executives who have no idea what Web3 is. So let me give you a brief example of what Web 1 is versus Web 2 versus Web 3 so we all can understand that. Web 1, just think of read only. So in Web 1, you can go online, you can read stuff, which is fantastic. Web 2, let's frame it as social media. So Instagram, Facebook, this podcast. You can read, you can write, but you can't own. So let's say I write an Instagram post. You can read my Instagram post. The only issue is Instagram owns the post. They can sell my data for nefarious purposes. They can cancel and take away both of our accounts for interacting. It's really up to Instagram because they own the content.
Wow. Yeah.
Web 3, I would say, is read, write, and own. So not only can you read content, but you can write content, and you can own content as well. And that content can come in the form of money, which I view as a type of content or type of energy, or like an NFT. So for example, in an e-commerce, like let's say I have an e-commerce brand, I create an NFT collection. I gift you that NFT or you purchase it. However, the NFT ends up in your hands. It's in your hands. Now there's a connection between me and you. So I can send you benefits. Like I can send you discounts. I can send you free product. I can send you access to in real life events. But let's say for whatever reason, I just decide to want to take it away from you. I can't because that's your NFT. Only you get to decide what to do with it. The government can't come in and take that NFT away from you because it's your NFT. Instagram or Amazon or Facebook or whatever internet superpower house is alive at the time can't take away the NFT from you because it's your NFT. So the ownership is the key aspect from that. And I like to joke where Web 4 is. Just think of Web 4 as like Ready Player One, where it's like AR, VR, metaverse, cryptocurrency, AI baked into one internet. And Web5 is, I think of time as a spiral. I think we circle back to Web5. It's like, enough of this. We need to go back outside and we need to get some sun.
Yes. So let's just pretend. Okay. Is this okay that I'm doing this? Because I'm so curious. I don't understand it. I think people are going to be grateful for my ignorance because they don't want to admit they don't know either. Okay.
No, I'm grateful for the way I'm grateful for the way you're running the podcast. Like, honestly, questions are good. Like, the more questions, the better.
Awesome. So like, let's pretend. So I own counseling centers, right?
Yes.
The mental health. So people come in with problems. So that's my business. So to me, as an entrepreneur, I am always into like, oh, what could I do next? What's the next thing? So is it possible, or how would I, if I was going to bridge or bring, I don't know, NFTs into this? I can't even imagine it, but okay, that I would love to know about that. But how would I start? I don't know if it would mean starting a business, or what kind of a business would I do that would, then I would have NFTs to give or sell. How would I do that? Like just a real person here. Like, I'm not like a big, huge company. I mean, I have, good success. I have a few locations, but I'm just curious, what would I do?
Yeah. So hypothetically, if you wanted to enter the Web3 space, the way I talk to e-commerce brands is just think of it as an additional stream of Web3 revenue. So if you have a core customer base of clients or customers, that's a way to harden those customers and keep them coming back to you because of the ownership. So if it's okay with you, I'd like to give the e-commerce example, and then we can try to relate it to you. So like,
when you say e-commerce, what is that? What do you mean by that?
Like an online store. So like Nike, Lululemon, just anything you can shop online. Okay. So let's say hypothetically, a e-commerce brand wanted to enter the Web3 space. They would do so for a couple of reasons. They would do so because the Web3 space increases conversions. So because someone already bought your NFT, they already bought into the program, they're waiting for your product, that results in a really high conversion rate. So the normal e-commerce conversion rate is around roughly 1% to 2%. So every time someone hits your site, essentially 1% to 2% will make that purchase. But with a Web3 loyalty program, we've seen a conversion rate of 80%. And that's because they've already bought into your product. So you now, as an e-commerce brand, you know your core customers, you can tailor to them. You know how much roughly product to make, because you're like, okay, I have 100 passes, 80 products are going to most likely be purchased. I can create 80 products. I can create 40 to create hype. I can do whatever I want. I would say the most powerful reason an e-commerce brand would enter the Web3 space is for the customer loyalty. So in e-commerce, the name of the game isn't acquiring the customer, because there's something called a customer acquisition cost, which is essentially how much money do I have to spend to acquire the customer. On average, an e-commerce brand will actually lose money. They'll spend more money to acquire the customer than they make on their first purchase. So the name of the game isn't acquiring the customer. It's how do I keep the customer coming back? And that's where the NFT loyalty comes into play because of the Web3 ownership. So just think about it this way. If you owned a piece of Chipotle, how often would you eat at McDonald's? Probably not. You'd go to Chipotle because you own that piece, and then you would tell all your friends about Chipotle. So in terms of how we can apply this to your brand.
Let me just ask you, so how do I own Chipotle, a piece of it? Is that what an NFT is? And how does it benefit me to own a piece of Chipotle?
Yeah, so let's say you own that NFT. You own the NFT. So let's say if you're a smaller brand, let's say Chipotle at the beginning, you were to purchase that NFT early on. And as Chipotle gets larger and larger, you get more and more benefits in the form of discounts and all that stuff. And the coolest thing is, like, let's say I purchased the Chipotle NFT pass, whatever, when Chipotle just started. Fast forward to now, because the brand blew up, they're very successful. Now, because of the way NFTs work is I own that NFT. So if I want to sell it, I can. So there is a financial aspect to that. So because Chipotle is so large, because I was one of the first customers, I now own the NFT. That could theoretically be sold for more on the secondary market. So it's a way for the brand to share its success with the customers versus the shareholders. And Chipotle can do stuff like this. It's like, okay, you purchased the NFT pass. You're one of my original customers. Thank you so much. Here's some extra discounts. So like, imagine you're a music artist. It's like it's your first music show. 50 friends and family come. Great. They get an NFT pass. 20 years down the line, you're mainstreaming Coachella. It's like, you know who your original customer base are, and you could have rewarded them the whole way, but you can give them benefits at the end as a way of saying thank you.
So it doesn't necessarily, it's not actually like that they're getting profit. They're getting just benefits of it could be like free concerts, like you're describing, if it's a musician, or it could be, right? Like things like that.
Correct. So whatever the brand, again, it's a connection between the creator and consumer. So whatever benefits the creator wants to give to the consumer, they can. So it could be free concerts, free food, free product. Could be nothing at all. The NFT could be a one and done type of thing where you claim that NFT, you get one product. But the important thing is you get a share in the brand. So like if the brand succeeds, you're likely to succeed.
How do you sell an NFT to people like me who don't understand them? Like, let's say, I mean, I don't know, because we're going to go into this. I'm plugging you. I'm going to suck every bit of information out of your brain before you leave. Okay. So now let's say I'm selling NFTs for logger counseling services. Let's just pretend. So now, and this will blow up. It's going to be everywhere. So I'm going to franchise it and everything. So now here we go.
It will.
So I sell these NFTs. First of all, how do I market an NFT, even to a population who are people who are like, what the hell is that? And so now with that NFT, maybe I'm going to give them benefits or whatever that is. I'm not sure what that would be. How would I do that? Like in a brick and mortar store, would you not do it in a brick and mortar store?
No, you can do it at a brick and mortar store. You can do it with anyone who sells a product online, and it really depends on the brand. So how the brand wants to market it, what's most effective is whatever marketing methods they usually use works for that brand. So we have some brands who are really good on social media. They marketed the pass on social media. They're able to sell it that way. We have some brands who use email campaigns. We have brands that use SMS. So at its core, it's really just another tool that you can market. And the best way to market is you don't have to mention the word NFT, because we've seen brands mention the word NFT and they're like, customers are like, what is this? I don't want to learn new technology. Yeah, correct. And customers are fickle. But what we've seen success is brands marketing it as a pass, saying if you own this pass, you get these benefits. And then we as a company, we made it really easy for the customer to make the pass, because we understand learning a new technology can be challenging. Like for example, in our flagship launch, it was a hat company in LA. And so what they sell like hypewear hats. Their biggest issue was they would release a hat collection. Bots would come up, swoop up the inventory in less than a second, then flip it on the secondary market for like 10 times the profit. And the guy's a cool guy too. Like it's like a family vibe where it's like he has a hoop in his store. The kids come and play basketball with him. So it's like that type of thing. So in his past launch, over 50% of the people were 100% brand new to cryptocurrency at all. So they've never had Ethereum, they never had Bitcoin, they never had a wallet, but they wanted the e-commerce benefit that came with the pass. So they learned the technology, they have the pass, and now they're involved in the community. And from ShopX's perspective, our goal is to make it as simple as possible. Because I think NFT Web3 isn't massively adopted for two main reasons. The first is incentives. Like, for example, the average person really has no reason to interact with Bitcoin, Ethereum, or whatever. And ShopX is helping that by adding an e-commerce aspect, because we view trade as like one of the original transactions. And the second is the user interface. Like, I know you mentioned you had some Bitcoin, but like, imagine sending that to your grandma. It's like, hey, grandma, I want to see some Bitcoin. Like, it just doesn't, it wouldn't work. So from the ShopX perspective, because we're a B to B to C company, meaning we could sign all the brands in the world, but if they aren't able to sell the product to their customer, it's going to fail. So from the brand's perspective, we normally create an NFT collection from scratch. It'd be like 20 grand. You have to hire a Web3 developer who aren't cheap. You have to hire a graphic designer. You have to do a bunch of stuff to get that off the ground. So we've simplified that into a process where you can go on Shopify. You can put in a couple, like you fill out two forms, like name, pass image, the cost, how many passes available. You fill out that form. You fill out the form for a landing page. And then you can launch your own NFT collection. And then because we've already integrated with your Shopify store, you just see like, you picture like a website. It's like pass A was created. You see it in the center. What do I do next? Add products. And then because we're already within your Shopify store, all your products are easily available to add. And from the customer side, we try to make it as easy as possible while keeping the Web3 ownership ethos. So like if you wanted to purchase the pass with Ethereum or Bitcoin or whatever, or just Ethereum, you can do that. But we've also integrated with Crossmint, meaning customers can purchase a pass with credit card. What's happening on the back end is the customer is technically purchasing Ethereum and paying for the gas, and then the brand is getting paid from that. But the customer doesn't need to know that. They're just like, okay, the pass is this much, put in the credit card, they get their pass. And from the Shopify experience, so let's say you're a brand, you're on Shopify, you have a token gated product. If I have the NFT pass and you don't, let's say like we want to buy a hat, we go to buy the hat, you try to buy the hat, you say, okay, you need this pass to get the hat. Would you like to purchase that here? You can either purchase it or not. If you don't, you can't add it to your checkout. But because I have the NFT pass, it scans my wallet to see if I have the NFT pass. If I have the pass, it goes to the brand's checkout, and then from there we're done. We just merely token gate the checkout. So any retention emails, any marketing emails, any SEO stuff that the brand has already set up on the back end, we don't interfere with that. Any payment processors that the brand already does, so if they do like the part-time payments or full-time payments, credit card, cryptocurrency, whatever the brand normally does, we don't mess with that because we want to make it as simple as possible for both the brand and the customer, which is why I think ShopX is the simplest token gating platform, which is why we do so well.
I have so many different things I want to ask. So how would you started to say how you would do that with my business. Is that even a possibility, or is that not, or would you?
I mean, you could. So I'm not particularly familiar with your business model, but if you wanted to, let's say hypothetically, you could sell, if you wanted to create online therapy sessions.
I'm going to ask you courses.
Yeah. So if you wanted to, you can create online courses where the access to the course is an NFT. So let's say it's a course, you want them to have limited times, like, okay, you can read the course 5 times. You can create a separate section on your website and token gate that, meaning only people that NFT pass can access that course. If you wanted to do like a series of courses, like let's say 3 series course, and you want people in course 2 to complete course 1, you can program that into data saying, okay, yeah, that this NFT pass gives you access to course 1. To gain access to course 2, you have to complete course 1, then it logs in the NFT, and then you got both logs, and then it goes to course 3. You can also, you can also create like private channels you can create like classrooms and stuff for your courses too. So you can create like Discord community. So you can have your overall community, but you can have all the people in course 1 have a private section and access to you at a specific time. I don't see you doing them
in Web3, and it could go on my website.
Yeah, so this is Web3 applications and Web2. So creating the classes or creating the rooms will be a Web2 application. So you can use Discord, you can use you can have a section on your website. So that's what Fox does, where it's like they have a token gated section on their website where people get access to that exclusive content. I'm not sure if you want to do the merch route, but you could do that as well. But that may not be the immediate fit.
If I was selling like courses, you said, like, so how would you, if somebody just goes on the website and they're like, wait, how do I get a pass? Oh, they could just use a credit card.
Yeah, so you could, the pass itself is usually just a URL. So you get like a URL, shopx.co/whatever your brand is, and then you can hyperlink that somewhere. So that takes them directly to the pass purchasing screen. And then from there, you can like link a video on how to purchase the pass. Like we recommend that you link some basic information, like how to purchase a pass, what is the pass, and then if they want to learn more, they can. But they would just link to the website, they buy the pass, and they get access to those classes or benefits that you decide. And now you have a relationship with that particular person. So if you want to give them benefits down the line, you know who they are. You can continuously add benefits to that pass as you see fit.
And then they would get like a notification that they got that on their pass, like, hey, I have another course, I'm going to give it to you at 50% off, like something like that.
Yeah. So what you could do, so in that point in time, since the blockchain is pseudo-anonymous, meaning if you a wallet address, the wallet address activity, you can see with that wallet, but you don't know who's behind it. So in our example, if they were signing up and purchasing the pass, all you do is just create a screen where it's like, okay, just connect their credit card info with the pass or whatever information they had, and then you know who they are. And then you get the email, you can say, hey, we just added this course to this pass. Feel free to go ahead and try it out or something like that.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And the cool thing is, if you wanted to, it's their pass. So if they wanted to sell the pass in the future, let's say, for example, if I did take your course, I'm sure I would get great value from this course. Okay, so well, and this is what I did for my this is what I did for the Vipassana meditation course. So I got my dad to go. So let's say I got great value from the course. I want my dad to go. I'm like, Dad, try this. I could send him the pass, and he could have access to the course. If I want to sell it to him, not that I will, because it's my dad, but let's say I sell it to him for $10 because you own the pass collection. You can program in royalties for yourself. So you can be like, okay, every time a pass is sold, I get 5%. So a good way to think of NFTs could be tokenized software licenses. So just like, like you buy Microsoft Word or Microsoft Office, you get 3 passes. It's just that with a free market aspect, and you can add more and more benefits because you own the NFT.
Hey, guys, how are you? Isn't that amazing? This story that we're hearing on this show is great. I want to just give a shameless plug of my book. I would really want people to have a good look at my book and to understand what it really is. I used to be ashamed to plug my book. And then I realized, how is that right to keep the information, the 30 years of experience that I have, the 8 years of education, the trauma that I grew out of and learned how to manage and how to manage emotion, all the training I've had in neuroscience and quantum physics. How can I keep that from the public? So it's not, I used to think it was like something I should, be humble about, but being humble is silly when you're keeping things away from people that they need. So what I want to tell you about my book, and I hope that you do get it, because I think it will really help you. I've gotten a lot of tremendous feedback about my book and that it's really, really of great value to a lot of people. And what it is, it's an interactive read, and there's inside of it, there's journal entries. So as I'm teaching and going through the book and teaching you how to create the life you want by understanding how you're wired, how your thoughts, feelings, how your words, how thoughts are things, and the neuroscience behind it, and how we are programmed from the time we're 0 to 7 years old to live a life of mediocrity or a life of poor design because of meaning that we attached to events when we were children that just became our programming. What I want to tell you is that there is a way out, and it's a simple way. It's very simple. I believe in the simplicity and the grace in healing, and that it doesn't have to be a big work. So I would love it if you'd get my book. It's a best-selling book on Amazon, and it's my first, and I encourage you to get it. It's called The Wake Up Call, an interactive read for building the life you want. I don't think you'll be disappointed. Thanks so much for being on the show, and let's get back to it. It's so much information that I feel like I have to know, and it's so much to learn, right? I'm sure, I'm asking this like I'm not even on a podcast right now.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, This is unbelievable. And is it hard to get up and running, this kind of a thing?
It used to be really hard, but now it's getting easier and easier.
Yeah.
So one of the key benefits about Web3 is composable, meaning it takes advantage of the compound nature of software. So people build one solution once, and then people solve that. Like someone built it. Long story short, Web3 is just pretty much copy. Most code is copy and paste, if you didn't know that, but most code is copy and paste. So like as Web3 gets more and more so right now in terms of adoption, it's going to be a massive whatever curve that is. The reason it hasn't been massively adopted again is because of the user interface. But as bigger brands, bigger parties get involved in the Web3 space, so let's say in the e-commerce space, Nike, they're all dipping their toes. They all think it's the future, and I can tell by conversation. But Nike, let's say Nike builds a solution, they go all in the Web3 space. Adidas, Reebok, all those brands have to enter the space because Nike's in. And now everyone knows how because Nike won't send their customers to a poor customer experience. Now everyone knows how Nike did that, then everyone can build off of that. So for example, like BlackRock just entered the Web3 space with their ETF. That's tons of capital, tons of stuff coming into the space. So it's going to get easier and easier for people to enter the space. And when Web3 is all said and done, what it has to be tap, tap, tap. My mom has to tap her phone. Her NFT does her thing. She gets her benefit. The merchant gets paid on the back end. That stablecoin is switched to whatever, and then it ends up as US dollars in their bank account. And that all has to be done in the back end, and no one even knows Web3 is happening.
I'm not sure if I'm right, but I do believe, like in business, you always have to be forecasting the people who make the money, the people who succeed are the ones who go in early on these new, like the cutting edge thing. Like, I mean, it sounds silly, but no, forever ago, no one in my world here as a therapist, no one took credit cards, no therapists.
Yeah.
And this was like when there weren't credit cards. I'm like, no, we're going to take credit cards. Like, but being ahead of it, doing it when other people aren't. I guess it's a risk, but
I don't know. I mean, I would say the name of the game is more positioning, because like if you think of life as a river, why would you swim against the river when you could just position yourself in the right place of the river at the right time? And that's what ShopX has done. Like, for example, our company's been alive for years, so we do have and we did everything right in terms of legal and just set up. So like if a new company wants to enter the space, they have to just deal with a bunch of stuff on the background. Our technology right now is just a simple Shopify app. So like if you were on Shopify or WooCommerce, you can download our app and then you can just start doing your thing. But to simplify that, like it costs millions of dollars in development. Like it obviously just doesn't come out. So right now, when brands are looking to enter the space, because we've been around for so long, because we have key clients, they're like, where do I go? Oh, then we go to ShopX. And because we did the legwork, now we're starting to see inbound. And the cool thing about us is, so another cool invention we have is our token is the first ever tokenized software license. So that's where I got that example from. So if you're a brand wanting to enter our ecosystem, you just have to acquire a certain amount of tokenized software licenses. And then if you have those, you're good to go. And our biggest client is Fox TV. So the fact that and obviously like, imagine trying to get like a major brand to buy cryptocurrency. They have to go through all that legal. It's honestly, it's a nightmare, but like our licenses pass the scrutiny of Fox's legal team. So because of that, other brands are comfortable working with us. And I do want to bring up our second product just because I know you'll love it.
I am.
So our second product is SquadX, and that's the first ever blockchain based ambassador program. So just like Twitter pays its creators from their ad revenue, we pay our community for helping our ecosystem grow from our ReserveX revenue. And the logic behind that is it's better to give than receive. So as ShopX signs more and more brands, we earn our so brand would have control over 95% of the funds. Like Nike mints one pass for $100, they automatically get paid 95. If they're working with an influencer or an agency, they can program in their wallet so everyone gets paid automatically. ShopX earns that 5%, and then half of that we give it to our community for helping our ecosystem grow. So as ShopX gets more and more brands, they get more and more mints, they're getting more and more benefits. ShopX is earning more and more money. Our community is getting real payments in Ethereum. And what does this generate? It generates positive energy around the brand because they're getting paid in Ethereum. They're happy. They're going on brands like Twitter pages. And I've done this multiple times. So if they go on a brand's Twitter page, they'll say, here, use ShopX and here's the reason why, and give an authentic pitch. Then I'll copy and paste that pitch. I'll go on the brand's LinkedIn page and say, I can help you out with this. And then the brands are much more likely to join. So this creates, people think if you want to join a brand, get a big brand to use you have to go to the top, which does work. Like if you want to get, like if I want Nike to sign us, like getting the CEO would be good. But the more effective way is to get the customers to demand that. That creates something called groundswell. Because if a bunch of customers are actually requesting something, they'll pay attention to that. And then from there, it just opens the door. This is why I love talking, because the spirituality aspect, it's the base of all the product decisions. It's like, yes, this is all tech talk, but me, the other, like the CEO, I'm like, he's also done the meditation. He's done the inner work too. So like when we make a decision, the intention is good. And this follows through in the product. So everything works out well. So like in our example, in our ecosystem, we're like, I believe in powerful relationships, not forceful relationships. A forceful relationship is when one party loses, one party wins. That's unsustainable because one party's losing. They're like, I'm over this. But a powerful relationship, which this podcast is one, is when both parties win. So when we're crafting our ecosystem, we're like, okay, who's involved and who wins? The e-commerce brand is involved because they get new revenue, they get higher customer acquisition costs, they get a bunch of benefits, they win. The e-commerce brand's customer wins because they get e-commerce benefits as well. It's a voluntary system. They wouldn't have joined if they weren't winning. So they win in that aspect. ShopX wins because we're making money. We're making the world a better place. More people in Web3. We win. Our community is getting paid in Ethereum. They win. The crypto community as a whole is winning because most crypto products aren't honestly doing anything to move crypto forward. They're mostly like messing around meme coins, just kind of creating an echo chamber of cryptocurrency. But if we want cryptocurrency to win, we need to bring in the masses. So ShopX is one of the few companies doing that. We win. the masses are winning because I view cryptocurrency as a good thing for the world. I think it helps fix the incentive structure. So they win. Future generations win because of the incentive structure is now fixed. The world's better for them. They win. And when I say incentive structure, this is what I mean by that. So the reason I got into cryptocurrency is I think the current incentive structure is incorrect. I think money is neutral. I view money like if you want to create, there's good ways to make money, there's bad ways to make money. In our current system, if I want to get really rich without doing any work, how do I do this? Well, I place myself right next to the money printer and then I take that money, which is essentially theft from me and you, and then I give it to my friends. So like this results in the political system we have now. It's like, let's say I'm a politician, I place my next to the Federal Reserve, I get money, I get to my government contracting friends, they bring in two other corrupt versions of me. Now there's three corrupt people. The three corrupt people will beat the non-corrupt people because they have access to the lobby. They have access to unlimited money. So then now there's six and this expands that way. Whereas in a Bitcoin-based system, how do I get really rich in a Bitcoin-based system? I can't print more money. The only way I can get rich is create tremendous amounts of value for a lot of people at scale. Like if I wanted, Allison, if I want your Bitcoin, which I would love your Bitcoin, how do I get your Bitcoin? Well, I can't take it from you. I can't print it away. I have to produce something of value for you, and then you give it to me. So if that's an incentive across the board, like just not just me, not just you, but the incentive for everyone, like 5 to 10 years down the line, like let's say everyone's incentive is to create value, that's when people can really operate from abundance because that's when their ideas are free flowing. And that's like, if you're trying to create as much value as you can, honestly, the only way, if you're trying to create as much value for yourself as you can, and you can't take it away, and the only way to create value for yourself is create value for others, the only way you can do that is if you're your authentic self. Because if I'm not being authentic, if I'm doing something authentic, it's going to be better for me than if I'm doing something not authentic. So that whole game theory, I think, plays out in a couple of generations, and we'll both be dead. But I think it's a good thing overall.
So, like, I think a lot of what people have been feeling about like crypto and everything is because you get so much mixed review. Like people will be like, well, it's fake. It's not, but money now is just a concept and it's not paper. It's digital anyhow, right? I mean, we do have paper money, but
I view money as a form of energy.
Me too.
And I think our current monetary system there's leaks. Like for example, we both have dollars in our bank account, probably. I mean, not very much, but because I'm all in the crypto system. But like right now, this second, those dollars are decreasing in value. And why are they decreasing in value? Because the Federal Reserve is just the money printer go burr. So I think it's fair because if we're trading our time for our money, I think it's fair for us to have a good store value that just doesn't get diluted over time, nor is incentivized to get diluted over time. And the fact that I think the cryptocurrency negative, first of all, a lot of the negative connotations around cryptocurrency, I mean, it's well deserved. Like I've been on so many conversations with like executives where like, well, aren't 95% of Web3 like NFTs a scam? And you're just like, well, yeah, they are. Aren't like, do I care about a $500,000 monkey? Not particularly. So that's where we differentiated from the NFT to our ENFT. So an e-commerce NFT, an ENFT is an NFT with e-commerce value. So the value comes from the e-commerce utility that comes with the NFT.
So you mean because it's like it's linked to a product or something like that? Is that what you mean by an ENFT? Is that what you mean?
That's exactly what I mean. So someone purchased like a brand, like one of our brands, e-commerce NFT, not for the speculation, maybe for the speculation, but they want the product or the exclusive experience that comes with NFT. So that's why they would purchase it versus like maybe number go up.
Yeah, I got it. Because I just thought there's these little figures. I'm like, why are people buying those? It's for all that money. It doesn't even make sense to me.
Yeah, no.
But Gary, he buys them.
Gary knows what's up. So
He
yeah,
does. I don't know how he knows all this, but yeah.
I think Gary, he's good with his integrity. He's a strong force for good. And I want to shout out the Vayner. So we're working with Vayner Sports, and I do want to take time to shout out and say thank you to the Vayner 3 team, particularly Avery, who was their president. I think she's CMO of Vayner entirely right now, or something. So Avery and Ryan, if you're listening, hanging out with you guys is honestly pretty cool. And yeah, like Vayner, they're a group of good people. So shout out to them.
And they also have like they work with you.
Yeah, so we're working directly with Vayner Sports, but like our connections are Avery and Ryan.
Oh, that's cool.
So
So now, yeah, go
and
ahead. Sorry.
the cool thing about Web3 is
Yeah.
like your questions are great. But it's just the beginning. And like I said, Web3 is composable. So everyone's just trying a bunch of stuff to see what works. Like we're trying stuff, Vayner's trying stuff, Nike's trying stuff, Lululemon's trying stuff, and we're just throwing a bunch of stuff at the wall and see what works. But because it's composable, if something works for Nike, other people can see it, they can try it for themselves, they can optimize it for themselves. So the composability and open source nature of Web3 makes for exponential growth. So like Instagram, for example, if I wanted to code with an Instagram system, I can. In Web3, it's open source. So if I see a solution on Ethereum and I'm going to write the code and propose a proposal in GitHub and they want to vote it in, I saw a solution, I made the fix, and they voted in. And that's just a much quicker way to get things better and better. So the speed of Web3, that coupled with mass adoption, coupled with inflation, coupled with what we're seeing in the market, like ETFs and all this stuff, it's just going to get more and more adopted. And eventually it's just going to be running in the background without knowing no one knowing what's happening.
So like what you're an expert and a coder, right? That's what you're a genius with all of this. So somebody like me, a layperson, what is the best thing for us to do to get on the train, like to jump on? Like if I went on, I wouldn't even know where to begin. I mean, like you kind of told me, like,
Yeah, so I would say the best thing for you to do, and the term expert I do find a little bit cringe. I think we're all just normal people, but if you wanted to get involved in Web3, the best thing you can possibly do is get some skin in the game. So maybe get a little bit of cryptocurrency. If there's an NFT you like, make that purchase, and then you own the NFT. And then from there, you're incentivized to learn for yourself. So if you want to go down that route, you can. Or I believe Web3 has inevitability. So if you just want to sit, wait, chill, and just reap the benefits in the future, you totally can. But there are plenty of good resources. Twitter is a good resource. Me personally, if you are listening and have any questions about Web3, I enjoy on board people in the space. So just hit me with anything like either email or DM. That works. But yeah, no, getting some skin in the game.
like, when you say buy an NFT, like let's say I did that, like how much money does it cost? How do you do that? And then how would I link it to my business? Like, let's say so as a business owner, is that what you mean also? I would do that as well. Get an NFT as a business owner.
So as a business owner, you would probably want to, so you could do two things. You could work with a separate already minted collection. So like, let's say Gary V Friends, they have their NFTs. If you're able to get a hold of them, you wanted to offer V Friends exclusive access to your business or like exclusive courses or exclusive counseling sessions. You can program that pre-existing NFT. So V Friends would have access to particular places on your website. Or if you wanted to, you can launch your own NFT collection and then add benefits that way. The way to do that would be, we're still building that out right now. So ShopX, we work with Shopify and WooCommerce. So of the 4 big e-commerce platforms, so if you're trying to launch an e-commerce store, there are 4 major platforms: Shopify, WooCommerce, Salesforce Commerce, and BigCommerce. We work within Shopify and WooCommerce, and we're going to build the integrations later. You just download those 2, you create your store from those like websites. And then just like the Apple, so just picture your phone, just like you would download an app on Apple, you would download an app from Shopify or WooCommerce and then create a ShopX account. And then you can create your own NFT collection.
And like, how do you create it?
So for us, we made it really simple. So what's happening in the background is you're interacting with the Ethereum smart contract, you're writing a bunch of code, and then you're clicking deploy, and then you're deploying that to the blockchain. But for us, we made it so it's 2 simple forms. Like during QA, my grandma was able to do it. So you just go on your Shopify site, and then you fill out 2 forms. The first form is like asking, what image do you want? How much do you want the NFT to cost? How many NFT passes do you want available? What's its title? What's a description? A description will be what benefits the customer gets. You click next, and the next form you fill out would be for a landing page. So it's like, what's the NFT title? What's the description? When do you want this page to go live? You click next, and now you have a NFT and a link where people can purchase the NFT.
And then you have to market it.
Then you have to market it. So how are you going to market it? That's on the brands. We offer like counseling or consulting for brands. Like this has worked for brands in the past, but whatever you normally do tends to work. Because it's a link, it's versatile. So if you want to like do a swipe up link on Instagram, that's what the Mag Park did. Or if you just have an email campaign for new customers, like, hey, thank you for being a customer. Check out this link if you want more benefits. You can really just your goal would be to get people to the link, and however you want to get people to the link, you can.
This is like I feel like I just took a peek into a whole other planet, like another world. But look at you, like, and you're allowing life to unfold. But look, with that intelligence and that allowing, look you're succeeding.
You know, the thing about success, I think one of the most repelling energies is that of neediness. So if you want success, if you like, let's say I really want success, that's all I think about. What you're speaking to the universe is, I don't have success already, but success comes from within. Just know if you're on your right purpose, it'll come eventually. How that manifests in the meantime, you'll figure it out, but it's inevitable. It will come. Just keep trucking along, keep at it, and then it'll eventually come.
I think you're describing also not having an inner state of fear, as opposed to like that certainty, which is faith, believing, right?
Yeah, no, yeah. Like for me, it's like ShopX is gonna do well, Dane's gonna do well, just because it's just natural. It's not something I like. Do you think too much about breathing? Do you think too much about eating? It's like, no, success is just like a natural outcome of life, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's cool. And I do believe, but I guess fear would rob that from me at times, that we're all made for success. It's just how we would define it, the operational definition of what it actually means, right?
Yeah. So, and I'm glad you hit on this point because, for me personally, I believe the base layer of every human is peace, love, and happiness. And if success is included in that, it's part of your core. So you don't really have to go out and get it. You just have to be it. Which sounds kind of woo-woo, but it is what it is.
You want to hear what I think about the whole woo-woo thing?
I would love to hear what you think about a lot of topics.
All right. Let me tell you what I think about this. I think this maybe sound like a conspiracy theory. I don't care.
Yeah.
This is what I think. I think the woo-woo conversations and the things that people are saying have been highlighted and sensationalized by whoever, whatever, as people who look scattered, who do not. I think that's how it's been showcased. But I think that the concept that you just described, that you said sounds woo-woo, is the highest level of thinking. It's the highest, it's tapped into infinite wisdom, infinite intelligence. And I think the way that we have kept, or whoever has kept it from the masses, which the masses need to know, yes, that it's not woo-woo.
It's real.
It is infinite design and infinite love and power and everything that we're meant to be, but it's been hidden by showcasing somebody smoking pot or having frizzy hair by a tree who looks dirty or whatever, and they're meditating, but they don't go to work. Like, this is not true.
I think what you're saying is 100% true. I think the people at the top are trying to keep people at a lower state of consciousness so they keep control. And if you want to go to the vibrational scale, like if you're sad, you're a certain vibration. If you're happy, you're a certain vibration. So there's a scale for that. If you're above 200, that's when you're giving energy. And if you're below 200, that's when you're taking energy away. So when you're at this level of fear, pride, hate, shame is the lowest you can feel. So if you're vibrating at those frequencies, that's when you're the most controllable. So if you think of social media, why is fear being pushed so much? Why is the vision being pushed so much? That's because people can control what you're thinking. And the woo aspect, yeah, like obviously the powers at the top, they don't want people awakening because they lose their control. And all the woo stuff I found, it's all based on facts. So like one of the people I recently, like one of my mentors is like a 33rd degree Freemason or something. So all of his circle, they're all incredibly successful. Like they all believe in the woo-woo, but they just don't call it the woo. To them, it's science, because I think it is science. It is. And the funny thing is, like, if you haven't looked up Hermes Trismegistus, I highly recommend you look up him. He's the OG chat of the universe. So like all the teachings we're learning off of are based off original Hermeticism. So all that stuff is getting like energy, frequency, and vibration. He got that first. Isaac Newton proved that. No, Tesla proved that later. And now science is just catching up to the spiritual, now just proving it. So that's why I loved when Joe Dispenza refers to it as quantum spirituality, because yes, it is spirituality, but it is based on science. And if you want proof, just like look at me, look at you, just look at the people who are crushing it. Like, I don't know one again, I hate labeling people. Like, I don't know one person I view as extremely successful or whose life I think is successful who doesn't believe in the woo, who doesn't believe in the God, who doesn't believe in a creator. Because like to accomplish great things, you just have to function within the flow. You need access to source. So like the more people you meet who are incredibly successful, like I've noticed that like I can't name one person who doesn't actively meditate or doesn't meditate.
Yes. So I am so pleasantly surprised having you come on. Really, seriously. I was like, when I looked at your bio, I'm like, what the hell? I don't know anything that this guy is talking about. How am I going to talk to him? And but I'm just like, I'll just ask, right? And I just think you're so cool. You're based in love. Where can people find you? How can they get on so it's ShopX. They download your app? Is that it?
Yeah. So if you're interested in ShopX, the best way to learn more would be to go to our website, shopx.co. If you're an e-commerce brand, just download our app and then you can start using us if you're on Shopify or WooCommerce. But if you're a normal person, you want to help our ecosystem grow, you want to earn some Ethereum doing that, you can join SquadX and then you can earn Ethereum. And if you want to learn more about the project, we are a community-based project. So there's over like 9,000 license holders. The best place to do would be to join our Discord or Telegram chat and ask our community what they think of the project, because they're honest people. If you ask like what is ShopX, I love seeing their replies just because they're a key part of the company.
If I wanted to open a Shopify, now I'm asking my last question. I want to open up a Shopify, whatever store I want to sell, let's say programs or education, something. I do that first, then join ShopX.
Correct.
That's the best way to go for somebody who wants to. I think that's a lot of what maybe that might be it, but yeah, that's cool. Is there any last words of wisdom or anything you would want to say to the audience, or if somebody's like confused?
Nothing really. I mean, my goal is to be as helpful as possible. So if anyone reaches out, I'm happy to respond, whether it be life, Web3, AI, I'm here to help. But no, I'm just wishing all of you the best possible lives. I'm wishing you all peace, love, and happiness. And for you, like Allison, thank you so much for having me. Like this was one of my favorite podcasts of all time. It's because a lot of my podcast, like a lot of times it's like Web3 business, which is fine, but it's fun talking about the woo because the woo I think is probably more important. So thank you so much for hosting me, and we'll 100% stay in touch.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to meet you, and it is a wrap. Guys, thank you so much for listening to the show. I just want to say to you that we are all together a part of the Mission Awake, a mission that's going to stop the mediocrity that's plaguing all of us. So if you got something here today, I ask that you would be a part of this mission and you'd share it with whoever you can. Take a screenshot of the show and share it on your Instagram. If you are looking for me, you can find me on social media platform Instagram, Allison Answers, or Lager Counseling Services. And give us a review and subscribe if you could to YouTube, Allison Answers. That's where you're going to get a lot of content. I drop stuff every day, goofy stuff, all different kinds of stuff. 5-minute videos that just get you moving in your day. Have a great week. See you next time.